tutorial you will need your selected yarn. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK in Duck Egg and Wisteria. You will need your corresponding crochet hook. I'm using a 5mm, but you can use whichever is best with your particular yarn. You will need some scissors and a darning needle to sew in your ends. I've just made a sample square just to show you how to do this particular stitch, but obviously your project might be much bigger than what this is. So after you've done your project, whether it's a granny square like a traditional granny square like this, or a solid granny square, or whatever stitch you've done, you want to do a round of double crochet all the way around your work, making sure that you do 3 double crochets in the corner. Now when I say double crochet, that's double crochet in UK terms. In the US that's known as single crochet. So I've just done a different colour here, and I'm going to go back to this colour just to make it easier for you to see, but you can keep it the same colour if you want to. So I've attached my yarn, and I'm just going to put my hook in that same space and draw the yarn through and just chain 1. A crab stitch is simply a reverse double crochet, so a reverse single crochet in the US. So instead of working this way like we would normally do, we're actually going to work our way back the other way. So what you want to do here is just place your finger onto the loop on the hook, just so that stays nice and secure, and you're going to insert your hook into the next space but behind the space that you're working in. So it just looks like this. You're going to grab the yarn and pull that through, and then you'll have 2 loops on the hook just like this. You're then going to turn your hook round, so twist your hook round, and then grab the yarn and pull it through, and that's literally all you have to do. So finger on the stitch on the hook, work your way backwards, so insert, grab the yarn, pull it through, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, twist your hook, and you can just sort of pull on the yarn there just to pull a bit more thread through, yarn over and pull through. And this is all you're going to do all the way around your piece of work. Please make sure that your tension isn't too tight, because it can cause the work to bunch up, so you don't want to do it overly tight. As you build more stitches, you'll see that you get this really nice little ribbon effect as you're going around. And obviously if you're using thicker yarn, that ribbing effect will be more apparent than what this is. So here what I'm doing is I'm actually pulling my hook upwards and then popping it in. But you could actually, if you wanted to, hold on to the yarn and pull it downwards and go in if you prefer to do it that way, and it would just be the same thing. As you're pulling it through, you're twisting your hook round. Now as I'm getting to the corner here, you're just going to do exactly the same thing into each of those spaces, because you did, or you should have done, 3 double crochets in the corner just to allow for that steady movement around the corner. And you're just going to continue to work in this way. So I'm going to leave you to work around the whole of your piece. I'm going to go around all of this this square, and I shall show you what to do in your very last stitch. So I've now worked all the way around my square, and this stitch is looking absolutely beautiful. I've just done my last stitch in this one here, and then this stitch here is the very first stitch that we worked into. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a slip stitch into that very first space, and the reason why I'm doing a slip stitch is so that it doesn't look overly bulky, because if you actually attach it into the next stitch, I find that it just doesn't look quite right. So slip stitch, and then you want to yarn over and pull through. Excuse that little knot that I've got there, and you're going to snip off your yarn and pull that out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a darning needle and then sew this stitch in this direction, so that it pulls those stitches this way and kind of connects them together. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll meet you back in a moment. So once you've weaved in the edges, it tends to look a little bit more seamless. But there you go, that is your crab stitch tutorial. If you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to keep up to date with any of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye!